Okay, hi everybody. My name's Alexis here at Tenacious Lobsters, and today's video is on self-reliance and what you need to do to be more self-reliant. Now, really, there is no one trick. Every person has their own individual thing that they do that makes them the most reliant person in their life that they can be. I'll explain a couple examples, but by the end of this video, I hope that you walk away with a desire to figure out what makes you um, self-reliant and how you can improve your self-reliance. There's plenty of places to go when it comes to finding relevant information on self-reliance. Uh, I'm a big fan of the library, and I always will be, simply because you have countless amounts of information for free. So I'll go into the examples real quick. So for myself, when it comes to being self-reliant, I'm a bit of a copier. I look at the people around me and I look at what they are doing, and I try to um, reflect those good qualities in the things that I do. So when I was growing up, I had a speech issue for a little bit. I acquired it late on, and I was able to self-diagnose it and self-get through it out of necessity, not out of desire, of course. So what I did was I would just sit in front of a mirror and I would just enunciate my words. I'd speak slowly. I'd think about what I wanted to say. I would watch movies and I'd watch how the people would talk and how they would communicate with each other, cues for laughing, cues for smiling, stuff like that. And even to the point where it was just completely obvious, like, you know, cues to jokes and such like that. Obviously, come naturally for a lot of people, and eventually they do once you learn a lot about it. But um, at that time in my life, I was awkward socially and emotionally, so I overanalyzed and I delved into the information of it all until I felt comfortable, and that comfort through that information made me self-reliant. So if there is something that I feel uncomfortable with, I either force myself to do that until I am comfortable, or I go into a data acquiring mode until I find enough information to make me comfortable. So for something like swimming, I'm not self-reliant. I am very poor at swimming. So I went on a swimming trip with the best swimmers of my social group, and I forced myself to swim. And by swimming with them, I was able to then become a better swimmer. If you want to be if you want to be a good painter, don't surround yourself with finger painters. Is the mindset there? I and that's what gives me strength, is by always pushing myself. Um, okay, and the next good example would be so another person that I know, I've done interviews of people in my life that I've found to be very successful, and other business owners who I found are successful, and I asked them, what is it that you do that makes you so successful? What one thing can you attribute your day to your self-reliance and your independence and um, maybe closure, right? Someone who's a successful or self-reliant person does a lot of things. That doesn't just mean self-reliance isn't just one thing. You are your one thing, but there's one thing that you do that makes you self-reliant, right? So for this one individual, very successful, $1 million company, what they did was every afternoon at work, at evening, he got done late, he would clean his office by hand, and it was just his thing. He would clean it all by hand, and it's not that he couldn't hire someone to clean his office. It's just the monetary, or the tactile task of going through and cleaning his office gave him that sense of maybe strength and closure, and really tied in his whole day together and prepared him for the next day. And that's pretty cool. I always think of that when I go to my own things. You know, never leave a task undone. Never leave an idea in your mind or on the table disorganized, because if you go to pick it up again, you're going to be just as disorganized as you left it. So leave it clean, leave it ready, and then when you come back to it, you know, jump on that horse and get done. So I just encourage all of you guys to look at yourselves, what you do, and what you love, and look at the ways that you motivate yourself. Another way of motivation is to bribe yourself, to become self-reliant. Know what you love and know what you need to do to afford that. So, example right here in front of me, I didn't even think about it. My example is also beef jerky. I love beef jerky a lot, and it's expensive. You know, beef jerky is in me, beef jerky is a treat. So if I want to do something important, like make a video for my great audience, or do my homework, start on my business works, you know, read scriptures, you know, things like that, which I have. All of these things are here. I want to get done. I bribe myself with beef jerky. I say, I want to get something done, but in return, my body needs something. My body needs beef jerky, and then in return, you get productivity. And I have to follow through. I don't get to finish the beef jerky bag until I finish my work. So that's how I encourage myself and torture myself into doing a lot of my projects. So beef jerky gets it done. And then next, let's see. We have so many different wonderful resources out there that are free. Like I said, you are your best resource, but you've got, you know, the Lord, who is always in your corner, always someone who can help you, empower you. And then you've got other things. If you can't find faith in yourself, if you can't find reliance in yourself, go to another person, go to another entity, thing, someone. Find the support that you need. If you can't find support that you need from someone else, look into yourself, and then find out who you are. Simple as going to the library, getting a book, and filling out the painstakingly simple back end of this, and it's step-by-step guide to figure out who you are and what you want. If you can't figure that out, you know, then you maybe take a step back, go back to your Bible, or go back to your friends, or your circle, your mother, your father, whoever it is, and then do some real soul searching, and then reset back into find out who you are, find out what you want. Once you find out what you want and where you want to go, find out how you manage yourself so you can get there. Very good book, actually. I'm halfway through my book stack from last week. And once you find out who you want to be, how you're going to manage yourself to get there, and you realize you need help getting there, look at that, grants, find the resources that you need. Learn what you want, and learn how to ask for help getting it. And then, for me, this is looking how to market yourself, market your talents. And it's really in anything. I know it sounds simple, but and it's easy to say, but if I want to be a FBI agent, I do. At this point, I want to be an FBI agent. I need to look at my today, look at how it's going to lead into my tomorrow, and then space it out into next month, and then space that month out to the next year, and then look at that year in the grand scheme of things and say, well, what do I need to do into my tomorrow that makes me successful by the end of the year? So for me, that's an hour of Spanish a day, and flashcards before bed, and lots of beef jerky. That's a lot of other tasks, and building up my own business, and other still, you know, lots of other little things that come into the folds of the little clogs that make up your clock, your daily clock. And beef jerky is what makes mine tick. So look up what makes your clock tick. Look what makes you more self-reliance. Know that a couple of really good words said by President Romney, yes. Um, Earning your way is freedom, and that's absolutely true. If you have to rely on somebody else, you don't have freedom. You are constricted and held captive by the demands of what your chain is requiring you, your ball and chain. So, what I want to say is that you don't want to be, well, in his words, I'll say it in the way that he says it. Let's not be gullible gulls. Let's not be people who are, in essence, dependent, unhealthily dependent. We must preserve our talents of self-sufficiency, our genius for creating things for ourselves, our sense of thrift, and our true love of independence. And I just, you can't lift others unless you're reliant, and that's the most important thing out of life is is helping those around you. So I hope that, like I said, you find your one little thing that helps you be successful, whether it be beef jerky, whether it be the loving support of a grandparent, or cleaning your office every day, making your bed every morning, um, whether it be any of those things, figure out what it is, and then make a goal, a small, achievable goal, uh, and, and complete it. And then do it repetitively and increase the weight of that goal and increase your desire to achieve it. And you're going to be tackling obstacles left and right. And that's what you need to do. Thank you for listening. I hope that it's been helpful, and have a great evening. Bye.